Hey, it's time to tighten up with TP.
That's a big deal with COVID. What were we talking about? Where were we at?
We were talking about how the transitioning. There's no club.
Yeah.
And then so did
And
I end up being on that level? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know the highest level that you were able to play at. And you said you had played as semi-pro.
Because some of the Haitian guys were professional, and they started to actually having their own teams and stuff like that, and they started to actually venture and to actually, we can actually put different teams together.
Right.
There were teams in Miami and in Fort Lauderdale and on Boynton Beach, in the different areas in Florida that you can actually have, different teams or whatever, But I was one of the teams, and when those teams were forming, that's when I came in, and that's when I played with a couple of these guys or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it was like and that's when soccer was actually developing to become the United States, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know how far this is going right now, but it was like it was from those if you were in the club city, because we were part of a club, you know what I mean? If it was in the club, that's where the players from the clubs, they actually make it to U.S. national team and stuff like that. But for us, we were not part of a club.
Yeah.
So we were forming our own side clubs and stuff like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how.
That's interesting you say that. The other day I was we were watching Arsenal's the series on the documentary on Arsenal,
right?
The docuseries
Mm-hmm.
on the Arsenal team, and what I learned was, I don't know how true this is, but they said that Arsenal was one of the first teams to bring on the majority of black players on their squad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, that's secondhand information my wife told me, because she was watching it when she seen that, and I came in kind of late.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't verified that by watching it myself, but I don't see why she would lie about that.
Mm-hmm.
But that she got that in there. But the other thing that I noticed was there were not a lot of players on that team. We watched Manchester United. We watched a few of them that we've seen, but there weren't a lot of the players who play in college here in the U.S. that were on those teams. What we saw was a lot of players from other countries. Granted, there were some sprinkled in here or there. You may have one or two on the team, one or none is really what it kind of looked like. But it was like, wow, so what's happening with these kids here in the U.S. that go and play soccer, which is this huge world, focused sport.
Right.
But you're aspiring to get drafted or whatever. So as I say that, though, I'm thinking maybe they're getting drafted by the teams locally, and then from the teams locally, they can get picked up to go play for the teams internationally. Yeah. Is that how that works?
You mean nowadays?
Yeah, like what's happening with the college players? Like college, I see the women get drafted, but they can go to play for some of the teams,
right?
Overseas, but
the boys are different.
The boys are different, it seems.
Yeah, they are very different. It's all about skills, skills, knowledge of the game, and what they've been exposed to. Like for example, we'll see guys working on ball mastery. Well, I can tell you the best ball mastery session we had was with a lemon, with an orange, with a tennis ball, with a ball that doesn't move.
Even rocks, man.
Or even rocks. So when you play with some of those things, and I can relate with a young man in Brazil or in Africa or somewhere that plays on the beach, or they're touching the ball barefooted constantly every day. They're doing stuff with the ball that we call here ball mastery. At a younger age, they've been doing this. By 9 or 10, ball mastery. What's that?
Yeah, but you might have 50. You might have like, I don't know how big or how many boys that are doing it, but let's say you have like 1,000 boys that are doing that every morning, but not 1,000 of those boys are getting drafted by those teams.
Skills, experience.
Yeah.
Remember when I said we were exposed? We were exposed to watching at first hand professional players playing right in front of us live.
Yeah.
And when you look at Manchester City or these European clubs at a younger age, these kids are seeing these players live.
Yeah.
They're seeing them live also training, or they're probably picking up balls. They're in the locker room, cleaning boots. They have jobs to do. They have little stuff to do. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
So that does something to your mind. If I see you today and tomorrow night I see you on TV.
Yeah.
And the next day I see you passing by the field where I'm training, that does something.
That's going to have a huge impact.
Oh, I'm going to say, this is who I want to be like. This
Right.
is who I'm going to be like. Because of why? I see him every single day passing by with his Ferrari.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
It's
major exposure.
Yeah. So when they tell you 5 laps, you don't question it.
Yeah. And it's not even the car. It is the life. You get to
Right.
see them. You get to
Living
see
the
their
life.
struggles. You get to see what it is that they do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? At the same time, though, you can relate to them because they come from where you came from.
Right.
They were in the streets playing with the Bronx with the Lemon,
Right.
doing the same thing, working on their skills
Right.
and develop them.
Right. I've seen Messi picking up a ball and picking up an orange. He juggles an orange. And I've seen players kicking gum out of your mouth and they juggle it a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of exposure here. Boys are different. Girls take it more seriously, I think. But boys are different. And I think what needs to happen is they need to revolutionize how they train these boys here. I think there was a U.S. player that was playing in El Clásico, Real Madrid versus Barcelona. And I think the game was tied, or he could have won the game. And the ball, it was kind of easy ball. The ball went in front of the goal, and he missed it.
Wow.
And I don't know if he still plays for them or next time. But that's a big game. A Clásico, everybody's watching it worldwide. This is when Barcelona play against Real Madrid. So those kind of little balls, since you were a little kid, if you play on the street, if you play on a bumpy ground, you know how to handle those balls.
Yeah.
Now you're playing it professionally for the whole world. It doesn't mean nothing for a player from different countries to put that ball in. It's how you adjust your body to put it. And you can tell the way he had his foot. It's like, no, he's going to miss that ball. That's the experience, Ty.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, those little details, I think that's what the boys here in the United States are missing.
There is a problem I have with that also. It's like the United States, for instance, like they will pick up players from only if you don't go to college, if you don't go to this college, if you don't go to that college, if you don't go to that university, basically you are not what I'm looking for.
Right.
And there are players outside on the streets, just like, for instance, I will tell you where I come from. It's that the Haitian community. I mean, who's looking at Kobe Jones? You remember Kobe Jones? 16, 20 times better than Kobe Jones.
You were?
No, I'm not saying me.
Oh, just kids.
But there are other players.
Yeah, other players. Got it.
And just because Kobe Jones went to this college, to this university, to this thing, and here is if this player coming with Kobe Jones and he was real good, they would choose Kobe Jones just because of status. You see what I'm saying? So
it's a lot of politics.
There is a lot. I would say there is a lot of politics in soccer, and so therefore, just because of those kind of things, I mean, I'm asking myself. That's what Lou and I always talk about. It's like how the United States is gonna actually make it to the World Cup, because if you're looking for only one group of players, and there are like a larger group you can actually pick up from, because that's what happened to England. In England, and if you go to anywhere else in the world, man, if you know how to play soccer, you're gonna be a mass squad.
Right.
In France, if you know how to play, you can handle the ball. You can handle what we're doing. You're going to play. It doesn't matter where you come from.
Right.
But in the United States, you have to go to this university. University of Michigan, University of this, University of that.
Yeah.
And they're picking up these kind of players and everything like that. Even though they're good, I'm not saying that they're not good, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But there is a lifestyle that you have. You just can't beat that.
Yeah.
You know, the way you learn to play ball.
Right.
The way you become.
Right.
You know, that's why I like the movie Rocky, right? And you remember Rocky Balboa?
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was getting trained by this old man or whatever. Yeah. And then there was like a Mr. T. You remember Mr. T when he was fighting with Mr. T? He was just by himself. He had that hunger on him.
Right. Right. Mr. T was the pit bull.
Was the pit bull, man. Yeah. I don't care. I'm just gonna work you, man. I'm just gonna work you. I don't care. Hit me. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Imagine a child that will actually work up in that upbringing.
Yeah.
You know, he just learned to become to soccer. He would learn to play soccer this way.
Yeah.
And to a player that's been playing in, you know, like in a club or stuff like that, you know. When these kids show up and you give them a chance to become in that environment where the clubs are, and you're gonna eat you alive.
Yeah.
So that's what the United States are not doing. You know what I'm saying? They're not picking up players from outside. They're just picking up the kids from different universities, different college. Mm-hmm. They're not looking at the big pool. You can actually find, oh, he's good. Oh, he's great. Let's pick him up. Just and let's adjust them, put them in there so we can actually make it cool.
Which is strange because they do it in baseball.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to tell you. There's what Patrick was talking about. They've made some progress, but they need to do it more.
Yeah,
they need to do it more.
Yeah,
I think they need to do it more because I think a German coach said, "Wow, these kids are in 4 years trying to see who make the starting 11, who's gonna start." Coaches playing politics, and these other 4 years in European, they're playing professionally or they're getting trained professionally. They may not get time, but they're trained professionally.
Right.
So 18, 22. 4 years later, 22. 18, 22. Well, okay, you just graduated college. This kid has been playing also 18, 22, has been training professionally.
Big difference.
Big difference. Because he's getting schooled by Neymar. He's getting schooled by Messi. They're teaching him. They're talking to him. He's around the older. He's around experience. And then now you're coming out. We're fighting for the starting 11.
But it seems like here, though, what would be identified as the equivalent, which it's not, is, okay, these kids played in the academy. But that falls into they played in the academy. They get to look at by these colleges. But then at the same time on the world stage, what you did in that academy and what you did in that college does not compete with what this kid did in that 4 years of professional training.
Exactly.
Okay, you know what the difference is, Ty?
What is it?
My opinion. This is only my opinion. That's the mindset. Some of these kids in different countries do not have a plan B. That's it for me. Plan A. Because if I don't, then what?
And that's how it is in Haiti.
And here, you have plan B, C, even D. So the training is, here it's more, over there it's more like, I gotta make the starting 11. I gotta be playing on the first team. I have to. The mindset is totally different.
Now, if you tie that into your coaching, because you come from that background. Right. That was your foundation.
Right.
And so how do you now, and because I can see it in when you're working with athletes, I can see the passion, how you convey your passion, how you translate your actual skill into the coaching skill. Some players, you have players who can be great coaches. You have players that are not meant to be coaches. Just because you were a good player doesn't mean you're going to be a good coach.
You're right.
You can be a great coach, but you might not have been a great player. Right? You didn't make it to the wherever. How do you take this foundation, this passion, this core that was deep rooted in you, and how do you translate into a coaching philosophy that has helped all these players get to the next level?
Okay.
How'd you guys do that? How'd you put that together?
We train.
You trained as coaches or you train players?
Both style.
Like, what is so? Explain.
Okay. When they get in, say if a player comes to us, and we test the basics, right? Okay, you liking this in the basics, you liking this, that in the basics. Okay, that's a given, because you have to have a strong fundamental basic skills, right? And afterward, we train them so they can look and move like soccer players.
Okay, so let's step back. I'm a player. I've been playing rec ball this whole time.
Right.
And now my dad thinks that I'm the next Messi. I don't think I'm the next Messi.
Right.
I don't even know how to spell Messi. Right. I just go out and I just like to play.
Right.
But when you are paying attention, I'm fiddling around with the toy in my pocket or whatever. Right. How do you guide my mindset, or how do you get me to a place where I can become that animal on the field? Because that's what happens a lot of times. Right. Because that's what happens a lot of times. You know, you end up in a situation where, you know, you're really sort of guiding this player into becoming something amazing on the field. And then next thing you know, now they're at the next level and they're playing. How do you get me there? How do you get my mind right?
First of all, you said it. We attack them mentally. The importance of the game.
So what are we going to talk about? What is our conversation going to be about?
Okay. We share the experience that we have.
Like, use me as if I'm the guinea pig. Okay, so cool. For me, just to kind of give you an example. Matter of fact, I'll tell you about a story, a real quick story, just to help to kind of guide us into that path. I had a parent bring his son to the gym. Okay, the parents are doing pretty good, I guess. I don't know, in terms of their resources. Yeah. And so this kid driving this real fancy sports car. Nice, I don't even know if he had a license. The dad brings him because he sees that all his buddies, they're all training at my gym and they're all doing really, really well. Right. They're all like, CIF and all these different, accolades. And so he's like the last of the Mohicans, so to speak. He's just now bringing his kid. And when he brings his kid in there, I'm like, okay, cool. One of the things that I do is I have a conversation with the kid, because the reality is it's got to be a good fit. You know what I mean? I don't want you to waste your money. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste your kids' time. At the end of the day, I'm going to be spending time with them. So if they don't want to be here, then we're going to find that out. So when I met with him, what I do is, I'll go through a fit test too to kind of see where they are. But in that process, I'm having a conversation with them, and I ask them, so why are you here? Why are you here? And this kid goes, I don't know, man. My dad wanted me to come up here. I don't know why he wanted me to come over here. I was like, oh, okay. All right, cool. I was like, well, do you understand what I do? He's like, yeah, I guess he wants me to train here with you or whatever, because he said so-and-so, and he started naming all these people that they go here or whatever. I was like, oh, okay. Have you talked to them? And he was just like, nah, I haven't talked to them. He's like, they're always gone. They're always competing or whatever. So I don't have a chance to talk to them. I'm like, okay, right. And so the people, they're like, dude, this was number 2 in the country, and this was number 1 in the country, and this, that, or the other, right? This one wrestles, this one's football, they're all different sports. And he was a wrestler, and I had 3 wrestlers, and they were like in the top 7 in the country. And he was like, and they were like really young, you know? And so he was, he just wasn't there. And so for me, I was just like, mentally, where he is as an athlete is not where a kid who is really focused on, really taking this somewhere would be. So for me, that's going to be me babysitting. And I am not about to babysit their kid. Right? And here's the deal. So he just starts like ranting and cursing and this, that, the other. And I was just like, wow, you curse at your coaches? Okay, that's another. So then finally I got to meet the mom because I told the dad, I said, well, hey, let me think on this and I'll give you a call back to this evening. And I called him back and I was like, I don't think that it's going to work out, And I explained to him everything that I'm explaining to you. And I told him why. And he was just like, oh man, Ty, I'm really, I'm really disappointed to hear that. I really wanted to train with you and this, that, the other. And I was like, I would love to train him. I said, but he's not ready. And quite honestly, I'm not going to be your kid's babysitter. And the one thing I've watched your kid, because now I had interacted with them outside of there too. And so I watched this kid like disrespecting his mom and his dad allowing it. There was like all kinds of things, right? And I'm like, dude, this mountain right here. I am not about to raise your kid for you. You know what I mean? This kid's 16 years old. This is no, I don't think so. So for me, like with you, with your coaching philosophy, how do you get a kid? How do you approach a kid to get their mind to where you need it to be? You know what I mean? And what's your standard?
Okay. So first, what we do an assessment. Right? The assessment is basically to see where the player is at, and also, most importantly, to see if the player even like our style of training. They're not trying to fight a club. One-on-one training is a whole different beast. Yeah. No one else here. You're not in line. So your name is going to be constantly calling out. We want to create a game-like situation. Yeah. Throughout that process also, we're looking at their behavior. We're looking at their mindset, their cause, everything, right? We're looking at, and then we kind of introduce what's going to happen here for the next 6 trainings or whatever, 12 trainings. We want to explain to them how ruthless football is, soccer. Yeah.
Give them a real understanding of how it goes.
How it goes. Yeah. What they're competing against. I usually don't take it internationally, but I take it world. There's how many states, United States, and they let them know you're not the only one training. Yeah. Right now, everybody's training.
Yeah. That's huge.
That's huge.
Lou is a bit nice when they're doing stuff like that. I'm not into that.
No, I may be nice verbally, but when I train, the physical aspect of the training, I'm not nice with that.
Right.
Yeah, if you don't get it right, you're doing it.
I'm not
and everything, every plan we had, stop.
Yeah.
Because there's certain skills you got to acquire.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead, Pat. Sorry.
I'm not into that Momo Jumbo, man. I'm sorry, man.
Okay.
It's just that when I come straight to you, and I even put the parents in it, and I just like, what are you here for?
Yeah.
Are you here to play games? What do you want to go with soccer?
Yeah.
I just flat out. Where do you want to go with soccer?
Right.
With the parents here.
Right.
Oh, I want to go to college. I said, okay, you want to go to college? You want to play college ball? Okay. I said, I'm going to tell you straight out. The training is going to be totally different if you want to go to college ball.
Yeah.
If you come here to want to play recreational, I don't mind. I will take your money. I will play recreational with you.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I'll be fun with you and whatever. But if you're going to play college, I'm going to be very serious.
Yeah.
If I told you to do 10 laps, you're going to give me 10 laps.
Yeah.
If I told you 100 push-ups, you're going to give me 100 push-ups.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So if you don't want to do that, I don't want to waste your money. And I look at the parents and I say, I don't want to waste your money. I don't want to waste anything. That's not what we do here. We here at ABC School of Soccer, we want to make sure that this child is going something. And that's what we produce. We want to produce players. We want to produce that.
Yeah.
And if you want me to actually go ahead and babysit your child, I will babysit your child for the same price, because I am not going to go ahead and back down for the price I'm giving it to you.
Right.
So if you want to keep your money, Even though you can go to somewhere else because there are many other coaches out there that can do that. But for us, when we do it, we're going to train your child to whatever you want.
Right. So
that's me.
So this is Pat. And also, this is what I've witnessed. This is why people think I'm soft, but I may be soft in the approach. But the training, overall, our philosophy, the main goal is results, right? That's what we've learned along the line. What parents want is result. Sunday afternoon, 4 o'clock, the whistle blows. Can my child run up the field? While everybody else is jogging, can they perform? Here's the reason why I do that approach. And many players will come broken versus mentally, or they're like, I don't know anymore. You can tell, like, where do I go from here? My coach doesn't pay attention. I used to start, I don't start anymore. I'm getting older. Or my coach have said something to me verbally. So basically, where I start being rough is I say, okay, number one, don't go back to your coach no more.
Right.
We don't beg for playing time here.
Right.
That's where I start becoming tough. To me, attack it mentally. And the both philosophy work. Some parents wants to hear it like, oh, okay, yeah, we don't want to go to college. We're going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Some parents are like, okay, yeah. And I let them know, secondly, if on your team, who do you think is the best 3 players, the best 4 players? If their name is not in there, I say you gotta get on that list quick.
Yeah.
Best 3 or best 2. And I want you to tell me what does the best 3 players have that you don't have. Because that's what you're gonna be breathing down the neck for their position.
Right.
To be one of those top 3.
Right.
And what I tell them also is, this is what we're gonna be working on. So if I'm working on a specific skills for your position, if you cannot get it, whatever I have planned for that day, we stop it. Because that skills, that set of skill, you need it to play your position, you need it to move on.
Right.
It may look elementary. This is where I attack it mentally. I say, do not underestimate the simplicity of the training. That doesn't mean you are at that level. But somewhere along the line, either from high school or elementary or whatever it is, whatever club you were coaching for, they didn't have time to give you that skill. That's where we come in.
Right.
So if I'm taking you 5 steps back, you're like, I already know this. I can come up to the cone and pass the ball. Yeah, but you're not planting your foot right.
Right.
You're flat-footed.
Right.
Or you're not timing the ball
You're not timing the ball right.
Right.
So this is where people don't pay attention. When you're receiving the ball, you're not scooping your foot. When I play the ball to you, I play to you bounce. I play to you in the air. I play to you fast. I play to you slow. Whenever your first touch looks like you're sharing the ball. So, Ty, we're internationally, right? So when we train, we don't think local superstars.
Right.
We don't think neighborhood superstars.
Right.
There's a difference between us and our trainers. Many trainers, we can make you sweat for an hour and a half and go home and learn nothing.
Yeah.
That's not what we're about.
Right.
So when you come to ABC School of Soccer, and mentally, this has got to be right, because we're going to take you back to basic. And don't worry, it doesn't take long to take you back to where you are. But certain basic skills, the players do not have. Or the clubs don't do a well job of teaching those players. And how can you? Right. If you have 20 players out there, how can you stop? You can't.
Right.
You can't. It's not their fault. But when they come to us, we assess those things quick. It looks like a long list, but it's not a long list. Why? Because we know the game.
Yeah.
We've been humbled before.
Yeah.
By skillful players.
Right.
So when they come in, it doesn't take long. Yeah. Within 30 minutes, 40 minutes, we say, yep, this is your position. Nope, you're not moving right. Nope, your waistline. Nope, you're weak. Your core is weak. We know it. But we don't break them down. We say, this is how it's going to be. This is how it's going to be. That's why I approach it that way. Because if this is not right, this doesn't matter.
Yeah. You know, the game is interesting because you have a lot of parents who they put real heavy expectations on kids and to play oftentimes at a level that kid is not, they're not there, or they may never get there.
Right.
But we were talking about this before we started. You were asking me about what happened to the one girl, right? And so she's a prime example. Her parents saw her as way up there being, somebody who's going to play on the national team. And I'm not a soccer trainer. You know what I mean? Like you guys, like you all are. I can see right now, just in the experience that I do have, that's never going to happen. Right. At the same time, though, I can take two different approaches. I can tell that parent, we got to be realistic. That's never going to happen. Or I can let them go ahead and pursue this journey, and maybe she gets lucky. Who am I to be the one to determine what her destiny is going to be? That's not my job. That's her job, really. It's not even their job. But what ends up happening is when that kid falls short of that goal that's been put on them, right? Because that parent's been telling them that granted, I get it. Tell Lil Billy that Lil Billy's going to be the president of the United States. Maybe one day Lil Billy will be. Don't tell Lil Billy to go out and be a trash man. At the same time, don't go tell, Lil Johnny, you're going to be a trash man. Don't worry about you. It's like when I was in high school. You're not fast enough. You're not big enough. You're not smart enough. You're not all these things. All right, cool. Guess what? I did it. You know what I mean? I did it. So, but that was my mentality. That was my mindset. My mindset was, I'm going D1 no matter what. Nothing you can tell me. Period. Right. And nobody told me that. My mom didn't tell me that. Right. My coaches, my coaches went out of their, it seemed like, I had coaches who went out of their way to cause me to not think that I ever could do anything like that. Right. That was their goal. Well, that was his goal, because I have a whole bunch of great coaches, but that was his goal. But my mind was already made up. Right.
It was a choice that you made.
It was a choice that I made.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I didn't need anyone else to tell me that. I studied on the weekends. I didn't go to the party. I watched the games. I analyzed the games to watch who played my position. And I didn't have nobody telling me to do this. I was already doing this on my own, because I wanted to understand, how is it that you're able to do what you're able to do, but I'm not seeing anyone do that here. Clearly, there's a reason why you're playing at this level.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I need to figure out how I can do what you're doing, but better. You know what I mean? Or put my spin on it, or do it my way, so that I can get there. And when I get there, be able to use that talent to go even farther. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's not because a parent is telling me, and that's not because a coach is telling me. That's because that's what's built inside of me.
Right.
I want to be the best that I can be.
Right.
But when you have kids who are athletes, who their parents, the media, the school, the agent, the whoever is putting all this on them, and that's not where they are up here, that becomes a challenge, because now they're trying to meet an expectation that is so high that it's unattainable. And then when they fall short, hit a wall, flat, now they're stuck.
Right.
Have you ever encountered that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's why it's important, as you are training, to train mental strength also. Train mental strength. Because that's what is going to happen. Because the road to success is never smooth.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So,
yeah.
Say, for example, they go to ODP. Right? The Olympic Development Program. Right. They go. And first time the child may go there, and they're like, wow, I'll play 4 players. But they made to ODP. Now the child come back to you and say, Coach, what I do? And you can tell them, welcome to politics.
Yeah. You know what? It's interesting too. I'm glad you brought that up, because when my daughter went to ODP, and the way ODP works is you get the invite. the way I've understood it is the ODP program will reach out to the coach, send us your top players. We're going to come watch.
Right.
They go out and they watch the top players to see if, okay, they have what it takes to play on ODP.
Mm-hmm.
If they do, then they give them an invite to come out, and it's like a tryout with ODP.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying out against the girls that are already there, along with girls who are also now new and trying out as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they may have been trying out the week prior or weeks prior or whatever. And so you have to make it. But in the process of making it, you also have the ability to beat another girl who was already there, or guy or boy, because it's both, out. You know what I mean, for their position. But what I noticed was, to your point, my daughter went. She made it. She's in. Another one of her teammates was there. Who went, and the girl's pretty good. She actually is pretty good. She didn't make it. But she didn't make it because of politics. She actually got in. What she didn't make it was either it seemed like they put her in her position and then they put her in a different position. The players that were on the field were players that were there previous. They put her at forward. The mids weren't passing her the ball.
Wow.
She never got the ball. And she's a shooter.
Wow.
Oh, she's a shooter. Big foot. Yeah. Right, big foot. Great hips. Great hips. Turn the ball on you in a second. You know, have you spinning around. You know what I mean? Doing 360s on the field where she's already shot the ball, taking off with the ball. Yeah. She had like one or two opportunities where she shot it. Right. And I think that they were like, whoa, whoa, she's the real deal.
She's a striker.
She's a striker, right? She can shoot that ball. And when I said shooter, that's what I meant. Like she shoots the heck out of it. She's not afraid, because you look at games now and you got it seems like a lot of girls are afraid to shoot the ball. You know what I mean? You look up and it's like, how many shots on goal? It's like 3 shots on goal. Absolutely. Like, you can't win a game with 3 shots on goal.
Yeah. Possible.
That's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she will shoot the ball every chance she gets.
Right.
And it doesn't matter where she is on the field.
Right.
She's going for it. And if she doesn't make it to the back of the net, she's getting close.
Yeah.
And so what I found was that in that whole entire time, those weeks of us going over there, it was just they really weren't passing her the ball. She was always in position. So it's like you got politics off the field, and then you got politics on the field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In that environment, which was crazy to me.
Right.
Because
a lot of children want to show off, because when they're in that situation, they might think that they feel like they have to show off for it.
Yeah. And
sometimes when the player has the ball on their feet, he said, "Oh, that's my time for me to shine."
Yeah.
You know, so therefore, you know, I can understand the player who do not pass the ball. You know what I'm saying? But also, if she had passed, if she passed the ball also, maybe, you know, but some players, they just want to be shine. They just want to shine. They have a chance to shine.
Yeah, a center back. But for me, a center back who carries the ball up and shoots it, when you've got open midfielders and forwards, as a coach and I'm recruiting, I have a problem with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a problem with that. You can show me all your talent all you want to, but what you just showed me is that you're selfish.
Kind of.
What?
Kind of. This is where we're not in game.
Outside back. I can see an outside back making a run.
Right.
They cross it. That's great. Even if the outside back makes the run and they turn the hips with the attempt to cross it to what, the 6? But they don't.
Right.
It accidentally slips inside the net because it bends. Hey, I'll take that all day.
Right.
I'll take that all day.
Right.
But if that outside back carries it all the way up to the middle of the field, where the 6 is supposed to be sitting, up in front of the goal, and they shoot it themselves, that's a problem. My son had that. This kid, he just wanted to do everything.
Yeah, I can understand that part.
Frustrated.
Yeah, I can understand both parts.
In tryouts, I don't want to see my center back taking it all the way up the field.
Sometimes they can. If the opponent is weak, they can do it. But if they have an understanding, hey, when I go, you cover for me. I can take the ball up. If that's the understanding.
If that's the understanding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, yeah. That makes sense.
That's what I'm saying.
That makes sense. Yeah. But see that right there.
Yeah.
That is that's game strategy.
Game strategy.
You know what I
Right.
mean? And,
Right.
and your formations. Who's
Right.
going to cover who and under these certain circumstances.
Right.
That is the case. You're absolutely right. But at tryouts, when that's not the case,
Yeah.
and you've got all these players that are open who you can pass it to,
Yeah, that's different. You better lose that ball because they're going straight down.
and then the ball gets lost, or you miss the shot.
Right. Right.
Like I said, as a recruiter, I don't want to see that.
Well, here's the reason why I said, ODP. The reason why I said ODP, that it happens in different. A player can go try it for a different club team also.
Yeah.
It's because I had that to experience with 2 players who went, and then they say, "What did I do? What did I do?" And once I was there, I was like, "Your body posture didn't look like you wanted."
Yeah.
And I say, "You were always in the background."
Yeah.
It was never like, you don't want to be too front, but you
want to be present. You want to feel.
It's like you want to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
No. You want something here, so you show up.
Mm-hmm.
You were asking for the ball. You weren't demanding the ball.
Right.
The play was moving fast. You was 2 seconds. Yeah. So when they came back, those 2 players came back, and I said, "Are you ready to work?" Now I see what it is about. You ready to work? Like, yeah. The training got differently. The training became differently. And this is Patrick part right there. Right. Training is different. Now I see what that program is about, and I see what's going on. So you do not want to leave the decision to any recruiter, to anyone making a decision. You want to make your decision clear. I'm on the field. As the game goes on, I get faster.
Yeah.
I'm on the field. I'm asking for the ball. I'm demanding for the ball. Everything changed. It's just a little, up there. What everybody's putting their hand in their hips, I'm looking around who my next opponent is, who's coming in. If I didn't start, that doesn't matter. When I come in, I should already know who I'm going against. They put you in midfield, I can play the ball. They put you up top, I can play. They play me in defense, I can play.
Yeah.
So the training is different.
Yeah, what you said is very interesting. I remember I was talking to Kadani and McAlpine, who, when he was over at USC, and we were talking about that first touch and how his expectation with a player is always that before they even receive the ball, they've already processed every move that they're about to make.
Absolutely.
Before they even get the ball.
Yeah, it should be a top level soccer player should be 2 plays ahead of the play.
Yeah.
2 plays ahead.
Yeah.
Even 3.
That's what he was saying. He was like, I want your next 3 moves should already
be there. By the time you pass me the ball, am I turning my hips this way, or am I turning it back? Am I playing it back? What are my options? So you're constantly in the game.
Yeah.
Really, that's why we said the game is 80% mental, 20% physical.
Yeah.
If you come off the field, you should be mentally drained.
Yeah.
You should be mentally drained.
Yeah. Oh man, you know what? I'm glad you said that. So I have this thing where when I'm coaching, I always say this, and I say this to my kids too. Whenever you practice should always be harder than the game.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know what I mean? When you practice, you should be coming off like you just went to war.
Yeah.
Because and when you go in the game should be easy. This is where you have fun.
Right.
It's in the game.
Right.
This is where you show up and you show out.
Yeah.
But in practice is the beatdown.
Right.
It's going to war with you because you're making each other. Iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
That's when you test yourself, man.
Yeah, that's when you test yourself. Iron sharpens iron. You go in there, and if your teammate is not giving you what you need to be successful, don't be afraid to make the call and say, "Hey, man, you gotta go." You gotta go.
You touched on something very important that we preach a lot to the players. We said, practice is a game. Practice is the game. The game is showtime. Practice is the game. The game is showtime. And what you do in practice, you do it in the game.
Yeah.
If you're slow, flat-footed, you do it in the game.
Yep.
That is the truth of it.
Yeah.
And when we train, Ty, we think internationally. So when we send, you see your strength before. So when we send there's different time where we're teaching up, the ball doesn't go with certain pace. But when we're doing some game situation drill, the ball is moving at a faster pace.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hit it. Once we hit the ball, receive it right away. You should be knowing exactly where you're going. You're moving as if those cones are moving. Mm-hmm. There are time for that. There are time not for that. But absolutely. Yeah. And this is where we say you have to love the game to play the game.
Yeah.
One of my coaches told me this. I never forget this. You have to love the game to play the game. He used to be like, "Hey, Ludwig, you have to love the game to play the game, but you cannot play for the love of the game. You play for the results."
Yeah.
If you're out here at 7 o'clock in the morning, we know you love the game.
Yeah.
If you're out there at 7 p.m., you know you love the game. Now you're playing for the results. And that little change changed the tempo of training. It changed the tempo of where you are in the game.
Yeah.
The one thing I wanted to ask you, I always ask that question. It's like I always that question. It's like, who are you playing for? That's the one question I always ask people. Who are you playing for? Or they usually say, for myself, or for God. I said, who else? For my parents, who else? I don't know. I said, exactly. I said, who come to watch you when you're well dressed? You're standing. Who come to watch you? People. I said, exactly. What are they? Oh, the fans. Exactly. So who are you playing for? For the fans. Exactly. So therefore, when you show up, the fans gonna come lift their bed. Imagine you have a game at 7 a.m. in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning, and then people are gonna lift their house, lift their bed. They could be in bed sleeping, and they're coming to watch you, and then you're gonna give them something to watch. Like what? Give them something like whenever they get in the field, you're like, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Something like, oh, let me get some coffee. I'm going to sit down and watch this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Excite them.
That's
right. Give them something to look at.
Something to look at.
Right.
So that, that's the reason. It's like I asked them the question, who are you playing for?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And why you're here, So therefore, that's the thing right there.
I've watched you both coach, and you coach your styles are very different.
It's a little different.
Yeah. To me, when I watch,
same philosophy but different.
Yeah, I think. I think the foundation, and the goal, because they're aligned. Your goal and your foundation, all that stuff is aligned. Yeah. However, how you get there is very different. You know what I mean? And it's interesting because I see you one day training, and then, okay, cool, they're working over here. Then you go over here, and then it changes. Right. But what I also see is that if you shift back and forth, or even if Brian is there, right, you shift back and forth, when it comes back together, it ends up, it's like all the puzzle pieces, they start to paint the picture, Right. Sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes, so just looking at my daughter, sometimes it was like, okay, wait a minute. I'm confused. You know what I mean? Because I have a video where she's training, and you are having her trap the ball. And I actually love this video. It made me frustrated. I was frustrated. I was. But I loved it because I understood it. I even understood it in my own frustration. I understood it. I don't know why I was frustrated, but in my own frustration, I understood it totally. You had her trapping the ball for like an hour. Yeah. Right. And I was just like, that is crazy. Yeah. However, like I tell my son, I just told him this last night. I said, maybe we just go to the university and all you do is serve the ball 1,000 times. And that's it. That's the whole training. You just serve the ball. Your arms, your shoulders, everything, you know what I mean? It's going to hurt, but you're going to serve the ball. And then the next time, a couple days later, we'll go back. We'll serve the ball. But this time, you'll jump serve. Right. But you'll jump serve. Right. And you'll do that for the whole entire training session. Right. So I got it. Right. It took me back. at the same time, in the moment, I'm just like, wow. And then she goes with you. And you're like, boop, you got the cones, you got everything set up. And it's like, go here, go here, go here, go here. Okay, cool. Do this, do this. All right, jump, hit it, hit it. I'm like, okay, wait. That is different. That is how you develop a player. Right?
Yeah, we strongly believe so. Yeah.
It's repetition.
Right. Repetition.
So my client's not here yet. She's been doing an awesome job. So instead of having her to go out and purchase the book, when she gets here, she's going to be shocked. And the reason she's going to be shocked is because I'm going to hand her this book. This right here is going to take her to the next level. This is a book that's going to help you out. It doesn't matter what level you're at. It's for everyone. There's something in there. I don't care if you're an expert. There's something in this book for everybody to read and to apply. There's great stuff in here. Go on over to Amazon.com. Go on over to Barnes & Nobles. Grab you a copy.